and she spends 20 to 30 minutes with me, I'm going to honor that time by not combating with what I'm doing. I'm just going to listen to her, and I'm going to actually carry it out. If I want your advice, it's because I truly see that you're doing what you want. So that's one thing to remember. So let's frame that. I don't know everything, and I'm here to share whatever I do know. Yes, you can. Yes,
Jay,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
The other Jay said, can we go to speaker view? And I thought I had it on speaker view, side-by-side gallery, side-by-side speaker.
I just started sharing because I have the slide share up.
Okay. Jay, is that better? Jay.
Yes,
Jay,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Hi, Jay.
All right.
I forget, so thanks for reminding me.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay. So yes, you can is a mindset, right? It is truly, you hear so many things. Oh, you can't do that right now. Oh, it's so hard. It's so difficult. No, I don't know. Let's not try it. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I would do that. But just stop all that talk for a second and just say, yes, you can. And my concentration today is how to be a leader for your clients. That's what you need to do. And then I'm going to define this market. I do this a lot. The air quotes of this market is because we are so confused at what this market is about. Number one is your mindset. You have to have a steel backbone. Stop repeating everything you hear from agents who are not doing it. Let me give you a good example. It's so hard to get someone under contract. Let me retweet that. Let me repurpose that same content on social media. I just put in 15 offers. I got nothing. I'm tired. I'm going on vacation. Your clients don't care. And as a matter of fact, you're starting to scare some of your clients. And you know what? They don't want to hear about your vacations. I'm not saying that you don't need to self-care or you don't need to celebrate your wins, but you have to be careful about the positioning. You also hear from some senior agents or veteran agents in all brokerages, oh, right now it's a seller's market. If the interest rate and the 10-year treasury bond, and if this happens and that happens and the inventory is so short, those are things that we cannot control. So why do you repeat them? So you'll see in this talk what I mean about what you can control. So start problem solving. You can't sit there in this market and do the same thing you did 2 years ago. And again, this market to everyone is different. This market to some people is, my husband died, I'm looking for a house. That's their market. Another market is, we're getting a divorce. We need to split both households. That market is different for them. Some people are getting married. Some people are having kids. Those are all different markets to the clients. So quit trying to fit them into just what this market is. Start problem solving, start door knocking, start looking for advice, start educating yourself, right? Stop sitting there and wondering when the next listing is going to show up so you can show your 17 buyers. It's not going to work. Look at this. Zillow, the rates, the crash, the doom, the little monster there that I put, seller's market, right? Who cares? Who cares? Stop talking about it. I mean that. Like, I want to talk about how April got an FHA buyer under contract. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about how Aubrey got her last listing. I want to talk about Jay Hannings and I's last transaction together. That's what I want to talk about. That's what I want to perpetuate, and that's what I want to study. Be a matchmaker. You are a matchmaker. You have buyers. What a great problem to have. Oh my God, I've got 6 buyers, all in 200,000 price range. Okay, talk to someone on unemployment and the third place in the unemployment line who stood there for an hour and a half. They would love that problem. You have 6 buyers in the $200,000 price range. That means you have a lot of homework to do. You can either write 12 offers, beat your head over the head, and try to get these same $200,000 houses, or you can make your own market by finding listings. After all, we are real estate agents. Now, unless you're just a buyer's agent, work with someone who's a listing agent. Stop taking orders, guys. Stop waiting for the MLS and the automatic searches to work for you. Look on for sale by owner. Look on Redfin. Look at unoccupied properties. Start knocking on doors, right? Be creative. Be creative. It's okay. Stop scaring people. This is all, these first 5 slides are about the kind of the mindset and the perspective. What is your message? Is your message this? Oh my God, this market's so crazy. I worked from 9 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night. It's impossible to find any inventory. Is that what your buyers or your sellers or what your clients or your future clients are seeing? Or are you saying, you know, we've got to be really strategic about this market. I have a 3-step plan that I've been using with my clients, and we've been successful and able to find this for them. Selling a house within 24 hours or 6 hours is awesome, right? That's cute. But what about the buyer at 280 who's like, man, I would sell, but I don't know if we're going to find one because people are telling me houses are going in 6 hours. It's kind of scaring them. People are coming to me and saying, yeah, Jay, I would, but, and we'll talk about that. I would sell my house, but, and we'll talk about that. What is your value proposition? Are you a hunter? Are you a hunter? Are you a farmer? Are you hunting it to go after the new listings, right? Because you have 6 buyers or 4 buyers or even 1 buyer, that's opportunity. You can start calling some of these FSBOs or off-market listings and say, you got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath split entry. I got your number from whatever. I just want to know if you're interested in selling. Or are you calling your past clients who are your best raving fans? You just helped somebody get under contract. You don't think they're talking to friends and family right now? You don't think they met the neighbor who's trying to sell their house too? Ask your past clients for help. Hello, Carol. I haven't spoken to you for a year. I haven't spoken to you for 6 months. I know that you know this market right now is moving fast and I need your help. Just like when, we found your house. Do you know anyone looking to sell in your neighborhood? Do you know anyone talking about possibly listing their house? Anyone who's just talking about real estate? Do you know anyone asking you questions about your sale? I want to talk to them. What is your objective? What is your objective, right? What is your objective for every client? What is your objective for every transaction? You have to be clear. And what stories are you telling? Are you telling them the same story over and over? What do your buyers' consults sound like? And we'll get to that, right? Number 4, educate yourself. Are you truly informed? Do you know the market? This market, do you know? Are you relying on what you heard in the hallway of the crash? Do you know what happened in 2008? Let me ask you this. How much do you weigh? You know that, right? How old are you? You know that, right? You know what your blood type is, right? You know all about that. But how many houses are on the MLS today? How many houses were on the MLS last year? And I want to be careful about what I say. Sometimes we put statistics on social media and it says plus 9 days on market, plus 455 versus 600 last year. My clients have told me when they look at that stuff, they don't even know what they're looking at. They don't know what it means. What do you mean the median household is 359,000? JR House is 199,000. Can I sell it for 359? We have to be careful what we're positioning to the clients. Can you translate the mumbo jumbo, right? Can you translate the market lingo to someone who's never bought a house before? How about for someone who's bought a house 10 years ago? How about for somebody who's bought a house 20 years ago? Can you relate to upsizers, downsizers, all those things? Did you know that the millennial market is the largest buying body right now, and they're maturing to age 30? These millennials are not 22 anymore, folks. They're 30 and they have buying power and they make more money than you and I did at age 29 when we were 29. Okay. So those are some of the things. Here's the knowledge. Why are we in low inventory? I just want to pop this answers. Can I ask anybody, why are we in low inventory? I just want opinions and what you've heard, and I'm not going to chastise you. If anybody wants to put in the chat, why are we in such a low inventory? What do you tell your people?
Come on, you guys. This is about a conversation with everybody. So what is it that you're saying to them when they say, why aren't there any houses on the market? Kathy? Kathy,
I haven't heard this, but my theory is a lot of it is all the investors buying it. And so the properties aren't turning over because they're just buying everything like crazy, even in this market, and then renting them out or Airbnbs or whatever. And so there's not as much inventory turning over for people that are moving up to larger houses in 6 or 7 years after they buy.
Okay, thank you for that perspective. I want to welcome all the comments because I'm not here. I want to learn too. There's a lot of things in the chat, Carol. I can't pull it up.
Yeah. Jay
I'd be happy
Haney.
to chime in if I'm coming through clear.
Yes.
Yeah, please do.
So this is Brett. I would just kind of share some of the perspective that I've gained in terms of the low inventory. It's multifaceted, low interest rates, but as well, there's been a big redefinition in terms of what a home looks like. It's become more of a home office, a home playpen, also, school away from school type of home. So there's a lot more people that have come off that fence in terms of wanting a house, wanting a bigger house, wanting the bigger house, to have, all those, multiple functions take place in their home. Even if you look at, I think Tom in one of our ATAs some while ago was talking about how houses with swimming pools are achieving higher resale values than ever before, just because so many more people are enjoying more time in their homes. So those are just a few thoughts I had.
Thank you for that.
So we've got Christy Howe said people refinancing versus buying. Very true. Challenging finding a new home, from Jody. April Tucker said military community PCS waves are backflowed, and so we have not seen that first big wave of sellers hit yet. That impacts the market significantly. I think even below that, if I can make a comment here, is pent up demand. Not only because we lost a year with COVID, but we already had pent up demand from two different sectors of the market. So the biggest community of people is the baby boomers, who are in the place of downsizing. And then the next biggest is millennials, who are getting into the market. Because the style and the type of home that people are looking for has changed, they're both looking for the same house. Where it was before that the younger groups building families were buying the homes that the baby boomers were moving out of. And because of COVID and because of how much more it has affected the older community, a lot of people in that marketplace are not selling. They didn't want people in their houses. The builders got behind after the recession. I mean, and then you take interest rates, drive them down, and you've got the crash of all elements at the same time. And yes, the investors are always going to be in the market. They're just going to be moving from one price range to another, depending on what the lower end is. But I don't really see that as being the biggest effect, because I don't think they're in as much of the overbidding as a lot of the younger people who are in different price ranges and are kind of settling for less. So I think there's so many different elements to this that I'd like to hear some of the other ones that people are pointing to. Kathy just said also builders are behind on building, and a couple of years ago they were saying there wasn't enough land, and now building prices and shortages of materials is slowing building down even further. You've got so many elements that are crashing at the same point, that interest rates need to go up a little bit, to kind of level things off in certain price ranges. But I don't know what else is going to make the changes. So who else has opinions on that?
So while they fill up the chat, and anyone feel free to jump in. So I'm going to give my personal perspective on why we're low in inventory and what's going to happen. And I listen to Brian Buffini. I do research. I read. I watch where I get my information from.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you that there's something glaring us right in the face. And it's called seller apprehension, right? They're apprehensive because they can't go to a place that they can find. People are scared of COVID. They're just in a position of stuck. And you're saying, well, where does that some of that come from, Jay? I spoke to probably about 15 to 20 people in the last couple of weeks who have been wanting or thinking about selling their house. And I said, well, what's your obstacle? I asked them, what is your challenge? Number one, we don't have anywhere to go. And then the number two is, we just want this COVID to be over. Those are the two things glaring me in the face from my past conversations. And I'll tell you, something's going to happen there. I believe that these inoculations and immunizations are going to free up seller confidence. I'll tell you, some people said that, oh, we're going to just wait till everyone's, got the shot, then we're going to. Good, bad, or indifferent. This is not politics, folks. These are your sellers talking to you saying, as soon as we feel safe, we will. Okay. The other part of feeling safe is, well, if I move from 250, I heard that 350 is just as bad. You got to walk them through that, right? You got to tell them how you're going to walk them through that. Here's the thing I was sharing with you earlier. 4.8 million millennials are turning 30 this year. That's a large buying body. And then can you translate the mumbo jumbo again? What are you telling your clients? Yes, it is low inventory. However, here's how I can help you through your obstacle. And most people who say, well, I'm afraid of somewhere to go. Carol, don't worry. Here's what we'll do. I'll knock on doors for you. I'll look at for sale by owners for you. I'll check people who are either having to upsize or downsize or move. I'm connected with divorce attorneys, estate planning attorneys. I'm going to look for your house while you're thinking about it. But here's our plan. And that's a different tone than, yeah, it's a low inventory. It's just crazy. We got to be fast. Okay. So if I call you, you better be ready in 30 minutes. They're not going to want to hear that. Crash 2008 versus 2021, folks, we are in two different markets. 2008 was about the mortgage crisis. 2021 is about the low inventory. It's about people losing their jobs. It's not this bubble that everyone's waiting for to say, hey, let's wait until November to buy a house. Hey, I'm going to wait till later, or I want to sell now. I'll tell you my opinion. You don't buy a house because a 1% change in mortgage. You buy a house because you've had some babies now and you need a bigger house. You're downsizing because your spouse passed away. You're upsizing because you're getting married. Like, these are all things that drive the behavior to buy a house. First of all, I don't think anyone wakes up, reads the newspaper and says, hey, hon, look at the interest rates are low. I think we should cash in on this, sell our home, push the equity. No, people are dreamers, folks. They're dreaming. Honey, I would love to live over at the reserve. Honey, I want to move to Papillion. Babe, I hate Southwest Omaha. Let's move to South Omaha. Guys, I'm retiring. I can't afford my house. I need a smaller one. This is why they sell and buy. It's our job to guide them and figure out the market for us on what we can do for them. Where's your data? So some of this is the NORAD real estate. If you want to read that, I get a lot of great information off there. It's not connected to any politics or anything like that. It's just a really good resource, and it will make you sound intelligent.
Jay, one of the things that I've really been focusing on, and with some of my coaching clients too, is changing the way that you think about things. Instead of, in what you just alluded to your point, it's not just about buying a house because interest rates are low. It's not just about the money with the seller. It's about a transition in life that's going on. It's a life event. And I will tell you that we're hearing about more life events that are a result of the past year and COVID and the change in circumstances for a lot of people, divorces, deaths, things that create these life events, births. They're probably going to be a huge baby boom, and so there's all kinds of life events. And if we don't taking the assumptions out of everything right now is probably the best change in operation software that we can do,
Yes,
is assuming anything.
absolutely. Ask your last 3 transactions why they transacted. Ask them. Ask them, why did they want to buy? Why did they want to sell and buy? Or why did they want to sell? They'll tell you. And I don't think anyone's going to be just about the interest rate or about the inventory. They don't watch it like we do. Are there challenges? Yes. So insanity, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same things you did last year, the year before, 20 years ago. You're a 29-year-old vet, and you wonder why you're not succeeding, or you're a 2-month new rookie and you're wondering why you're not succeeding, or you wonder why you are succeeding. Are you paying attention to your activities? Are you still doing pop buys? I talked to 4 or 5 agents in the last couple of days because I asked them, hey, has your pop buy activity changed? Yes. Are you doing more? No. All 5 of them said no. And I'll tell you, I'm not either. I did less. Okay, but did I shift to picking up the phone more? Yes, I am truly prospecting. I am mining. I'm turning over every little nugget that I can. Are you really paying attention to your database? Because you have 200 fans in there. You got 150 fans in there that are willing to help you. Maybe you got 10 fans in there that you should just call and have a conversation with and ask them for help. Buffini, CRM, I don't care what you're using, but use a tool right now. You can't do the same thing as you did last year, last month, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, and expect anything to work. You got to think different. Handling the buyer, you gotta have buyer consults. You have to have buyer consults. And you're saying, well, why? Because if you've got 6 buyers right now, find out which ones are qualified. Find out which ones that you can let go of so that you don't have to file for bankruptcy. Do you know what I mean? Every one of you has one buyer right now that you're like, oh my God, I wish I just got them under contract. Please, please, because they're driving me crazy. They're being disrespectful with your time. They're calling you on Easter. And I mean, not that that's disrespectful, but at 9:40 at night to call me on Easter and ask me to, about, can we do this? Can we do that? I mean, you got to set boundaries for yourself. And I'm not saying that I won't work. I'm saying that you have high maintenance or high disrespectful buyers. And I know that I had those, when I still have them, but I know now 2 years ago when I had this one buyer that was running me all around town, and if I would have let them go or said, hey, no to them, I wouldn't have filed for bankruptcy. But I carried that person. I worked 22 hours a week with that person. I put in a lot of offers with that person, and I was just trying to figure it out. So what I'm telling you is it's okay to let them down by being truthful with them and saying, we can't bid list price today. We can't just do, no, we're not going to lowball offer. And you've got to tell them this. Also, if you got to place them in the strongest position, you got to get them to a local lender. You have to get the pre-approval ready. You got to start a file for them. You have to talk them through the buying process. Here it is, painting the picture of the speed of the market, right? Stop using phrases that discourage your buyer. So here's one thing I really noticed. I get so excited sometimes, I take my buyer and then all of a sudden we're in the heat of making an offer. I've noticed though that when I say, hey, before we even start looking for houses, I need to understand what you think about money. If we see a $230,000 house and we make an offer for $250,000, is the $86-ish payment going to break you? I asked them that. Is it going to break you? Is it going to stop you? And they say, never thought of it that way. Let's fast forward to another scenario. I took a buyer around. I never talked about this. We're on a phone at 9 o'clock at night, and the husband and wife are trying to hear me over a cell phone, and they're both nervous as hell. And I explained to them, hey guys, it's listed at 230. I say, if you really want this house, 20,000 over isn't out of context. And they're listening to me going, you want me to pay 20,000 over for that house? That's the first time they heard it. They're not going to have a lot of confidence in you. And then you trying to tell them it's an $86 payment at the heat of the moment difference is they're not going to listen then. That's why the consult is so important, to walk them through these things that come up before they come up. Send them to a thorough LO. Have the loan officer explain to them what their position is, what their money is like. And I ask people, how much cash do you have on hand? I'm asking that question because, and people say, well, why do you ask that? I do not want to place you in a position of jeopardy when we are making an offer. Oh yeah, Jay, we got 21,000 on hand. Perfect. And you have to ask the questions. Have that strong, conversation as soon as possible. Seller's consultation. I would rather go face to face right away with these people. And I'll tell you why. Here's a call. Hi, Jay, we're thinking of selling. You know what? That's great. Now is a good time to sell. I don't go any further than that. I say, stop what you're doing. Don't make any improvements to the house. Stop patching the walls, and I'll be over tomorrow at 9:30, okay? That's it. I need to go to their house to either stand in the room face to face and hear them. And I need to walk them through things because their apprehension is, well, we've got a list of 13 repairs we need to do. Stop it right now. Nobody cares about the doorknob. Nobody. Okay. So the other parts are, well, we were going to go get $20,000 of backsplash. Stop it. Go there or Zoom. That's the next best thing. The biggest challenge, biggest fear, biggest obstacle, you don't know. Ask them, Carol, what is the challenge from you really listing? What are you afraid of? What obstacles do you think are going to pop up? Ask the question and shut your mouth because they will tell you. And when they say, Carol, we're just afraid of the interest rate by the time September rolls around. Address it. We're just afraid that we're not going to find anywhere to live. Address it. Here's how we're going to go to market. Here's what I'm going to do on your behalf. Did you know that we can negotiate a closing date? No, I didn't know that. I thought we had 30 days to close. Sellers and buyers don't know what they don't know. Explain and ease the stress. Here's this. I draw almost something like this, right? Here's my mission. See this house of yours? I draw the house and then I draw a line to the big house and I usually put a heart on it. The house you're living on now, since you've identified that you want to sell it, is just an asset. Fall out of love with this house. Yes, I know there were some great memories in this house, but now it is an asset on your balance sheet. We will honor the memory of this house, but there's a job for me to do. There's a mission. I will help you negotiate your closing day, okay? In this $250,000 price range, there's probably going to be some buyers in there that will be flexible and say, sure, we'll give you 4 months to move out. Sure, we'll give you 3 months to move out. It's all negotiable. We'll match you with a buyer. I'll start matching you with buyers that I already have to your house who I know live in apartments right now and they can go month to month, okay? I'm going to broadcast that person's search as well. I know people do this. Hey, looking for a house in the prairies. Okay, let's be a little more specific with what we're looking for. Looking for a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom house, 4-car garage, in the price point between $850 and $900 in this area. People are more apt to answer that person. Okay, financing terms. Define all those. Do you have to sell before you buy? Actually, no, we don't, Jay. Great. Ask the question. Hey, I'm gonna knock on FSBO's doors. You're serious about selling your house, right? I'm gonna start knocking on FSBO's doors, or every house on this street is for sale if the price is right. So I'm gonna look for you. I'm gonna find you a house. Now I won't overpromise and tell them that it's gonna be easy. I'm gonna tell them it's going to be stressful. I'm going to take the calculated measurements to get you to your next step. Writing an offer. My God, Ben Smale and Aubrey Hess back in the day left such an impression on me. Clean offer, folks. Clean offer, folks. Clean offer, folks. Don't have them search for your cell phone number. Don't have them search for the loan officer's number. Put the term in there. Put everything you can put in there. So when they're looking through 17 offers, yours stands out because it's got every bit of information. and that's free. So communication with the agent, I'll tell you how I like to write an offer. Let's just pretend Carol Souza is the agent, right? I don't want to call agents unnecessarily and talk to them for 35 minutes. I want to text Carol first and say, Carol, I have a buyer interested in your house. I have a couple of questions. Do you have 2 minutes? She'll read it and she'll tell me, yeah, I do. Yeah, no, I don't. Sure. Hi, Carol, Jay Miralles. I just want to take 2 minutes of your time. I've heard so much about you. Beautiful listing. Give them 2 compliments right away. Don't do this. Yeah, so what's this thing about your buyer needs to move out on the 28th of August? Well, that's just absurd, Carol. Show some respect. It's Carol's seller's asset right now, not yours. Carol, I just want to let you know we will be very responsive. We're going to work with Green Title. We're going to work with Benchmark Mortgage. My loan officer will call you. I just want to make sure that you know that we'll get you anything that you need. Thank you so much. Boom, send the offer over. Carol, thank you for allowing us to present you this offer. If you have any questions, call me. Great. Sequence of contacts is important because if I contacted Carol Souza 4 or 5 times and showed her I'm a respectful agent, she's going to want to do business more than someone who pushed her over for cash. Okay? You got to give yourself every little edge of fight. And it doesn't mean to fight with the other agent. It means to show some respect and leave a lasting impression of who you are. I will tell you some of the best deals I've ever done is because of my big mouth, because I've reached out. Every time I see, that Kathy Shunk has had a listing, I'm like, yes, I'm excited to do business with Better Homes agents because I truly, genuinely like all of you. Clean offer. Again, there's Ben Smales and Aubrey has his tips for that one ATA. I don't know where mine is, but Carol, that is such a great document that they sent. There are things that you can do to make your offer so clean and so strong that don't require an extra penny.
I call it risk mitigation.
Yes, absolutely.
That is your job as an agent right now when you're writing an offer is to present to the seller all risks mitigated that you can. That's
Absolutely.
number one.
And don't be a risk yourself by being a jerk to the seller's agent, okay? Because too often we're stressed out and they feel it. Don't show desperation either. Show them like you've been there before. Amy, Jay Miralles giving you a call. Thank you so much for taking my call. I just want to let you know my buyers are excited. Here's what it is. If there's any feedback, Amy, that you have for me that can make this offer even stronger, please don't hesitate to text me or call me. And if you feel like you're bothering me, you've got the wrong agent. Thank you so much. Click, bye. Stay in control. Okay, time investment, number 8. Unrealistic expectations. You have 6 buyers right now, and one of them is running you ragged because you can't have a backbone and tell them that, no. Amy's gonna call me as a buyer and say, Amy or Jay, what are you doing tonight, in an hour? I know my son's got a game. I'm gonna say my son has a game. My son has a game. I will try and get someone for you. I tell my people, hey, I just want to let you know, let's be smart about this. Let's plan our day. Let's get our availability, your availability. I give them windows of availability so they just can't call me at 4:30 in a few minutes and say, can we see this house right now? You got to control your time. Stay in control by saying no, or don't do this. Hi, Jay, this is Amy. Can we see this house at Saturday? Sure, what time do you want to see it? No, perfect, Amy. I can show you at 9 or at 1:30. Control your time. Don't give them the blanket. Prospecting versus insanity. Are you going to write 12 offers on this one person while you're beating your head on the door because they're, again, a uninformed or disrespectful buyer? Or are you going to start prospecting so that you can bring something to this buyer? Or you're going to tell this buyer, you know what, you have to be nice about it, but you can also say, listen, I know right now that you have your bank from small town Nebraska, and I've tried to, get in contact with your loan officer. In this market, we need a little bit more zip. I have so-and-so that can pre-approve you and we can get a stronger position with this person. Again, time investment. I've said some of the same things over and over again, but this is your time, folks. Guard your time by setting appointments. I don't, yeah, when are you free Saturday? You'll never hear me say that. Saturday, I've got a buyer's consultation at 9. I've got a showing at 11. I can meet you at 1 or 3. 1 or 3. Showing requests. I mean, Becky and I probably have 12 active buyers right now, but I'm not running with my head cut off. I said no because I have to do this ATA right now. This is important to me. I'm sure that some of my buyers want to see a house right now, but my time's important too. Be proactive. Stop taking orders. Quit waiting for the MLS to pop up. Call other agents. Hi, Carol. Love you. You have anything coming up in Valley? You do in 2 months? Oh my gosh. I'd love to do an off-market deal with you, or I'd love to, learn more about it, or I'd love to introduce you. But you know what I mean? Talk to each other.
And I'd say, no, I don't, but I'm going to call Kathy Shunk.
Because she will have a listing in Valley. I know she will. $5, she's got a listing in Valley in the next 60 days. Am I right, Kathy? Oh, you got to know your other agents. That's my point.
Right.
I know what Jen Haig does. I know what Jonathan O'Gorman does. I know what Carol Souza does. I know what Katie Day does. I know what they're doing because I'm watching success. And when I ask Carol for advice, I'm going to do what she says. Because next time she has a property for sale, you know what? I told Jay to do that. He'll probably do that for this transaction. Yes, I will. Yes. Okay. Self-care, last tip. Self-care, last tip. Self-care, last tip, guys. Stop for a second. You are stressed. Your buyers are stressed. Your sellers are stressed. Stop ignoring your stress and take care of your mind. Because if you don't have a fresh mind, you're going to go into tomorrow a shit show, a wreck. Nobody needs that. You don't need that. Your family doesn't need that. So if you need to talk to somebody right now, if you're feeling vulnerable or you're feeling like you're burning out, reach out. Don't put yourself in a hole. I'm telling you this for your mental health. I've seen it all too often. Listen to those who are not miserable right now, because there's plenty of people who aren't. Reach out. I'm telling you, reach out and ask for help. God bless it. Because there are too many good people falling at the wayside because they're in their own head. One transaction, there's this one transaction that is bothering you so bad. There's this one person that is bothering you so bad. There's this one thing that is eating you alive. Let it go. Let it go, because if you're one transaction away from bankruptcy, you should not be an agent right now. If it is so hard for you right now that money is driving you to do bad things, now's not the time. Go get a side hustle. There's plenty of room for you on Teams or whatever, but please don't trade your soul for what this glamorous machine may be presenting to you. It's all about not perspective, but perspective. Get spelling lessons, okay? Perspective. Guys, I'm just an ignorant, happy-go-lucky dude. I'm intense. I see things for better than they are sometimes. And it's okay, to be optimistic and positive. It's okay to be unrealistic every now and then. Firing a client professionally. Carol, you and I have been looking at houses for a long time, and I know that you and your spouse, have had, really challenges. I'd like to get you to a better expert than myself in that area. She really specializes in houses in Bellevue. Would you mind if I made that connection, bridged us? Because I know that this team member of mine would be able to serve you faster. I do that to Amanda Taylor all the time. And guess what? After one showing, she gets them under contract. I'm like, dang, maybe they just hated me. Maybe they didn't trust me. Maybe what I said were not the things they wanted to hear. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with identifying when I'm weak, when I'm not a right match. And sometimes the not the right matches, it's your style. It's the glasses you wear. It's the way you talk sometimes. And the last part is say yes to yourself. You have to say no. Every time you say no to the right things, you're going to gain some time for yourself. And I will tell you, I'm a yes man. I like to say yes to everything. Yes, Carol, I will do this ATA. Yes, I will do this. Yes, I will help you. Yes, I will show you. But I can also tell you that I had to say no to showings, for a short window. But I feel good about knowing that I want to help all of you or one of you or two of you. That fulfills me. When I get a text after and like, dang, Jay, you were funny. I love that. I freaking love that. Enjoy yourself. Say yes to yourself. Self-care. Unplug. Tell people you're going on vacation. So you know what? That's when business comes to you. Put on Facebook right now, I'm going on vacation. And guess what's going to happen? Hi, Jay, we're thinking of selling our house the day you go on vacation. Perfect. I'm going to cancel my vacation. It's a great marketing technique. Other than that, folks, one more thing is I'm so grateful to share these ideas. I don't know everything, but I do know one thing. You need to have fun, and I'm here to have fun with you. I'm here to learn more. And, for me, it's not about the 16 or 17 transactions closing in April for us. I could give a damn about that. I can give a crap. What I do care about is the people who are on my team are well taken care of. I care that the people that my team come in contact with, that they're respectful to them and that they, contribute too. So that being said, I'm grateful. If there's any questions or discussions, I'm here for you.
What do you guys got? I want to ask you all something, and Jay, that was fantastic, and so many things to think about, in such valid points of what we all need to do. Is for the rest of you, you've all been in this through last year. What's one thing that you've changed about the way you do business after the last year of COVID, the restrictions, things that have happened? Tell us one thing that has changed in your business positively.
Carol, I'll speak to that. So the biggest change that I've made this year is, and it seems maybe counterproductive, but it's not, is I say no. I say no all the time, personally and professionally. Just got a call from the gal that runs the Women's Golf League in Glenwood. I've done it, the past 4 years. I ran it a couple years ago, and I said, I'm not doing it this year. I'd love to sub. So call me every Tuesday when you need somebody. I'll probably be on the golf course every Tuesday still, but I'm not committing to the league. Or this is the first year I've ever turned down listings. I used to be so desperate to compete with other real estate companies and agents that I would take the overpriced listings. And this year it's not worth the time or the energy.
Okay. The next question behind that is what are the results of that for you in your life?
I cut my goal in half this year, just with the intentions of taking a step back and reprogramming. And I'm ahead of where I was last year.
I bet.
It's it's such a mindset game. I don't stress. I'm usually off every day at 3. I have a showing assistant, and I used to stress about sending her on jobs. And now I don't feel bad giving that money away, and I don't feel bad having her do it. And if the clients don't like it, then
group hug,
move on. Yeah.
Good job.
So yeah, business is good, but I just am a lot less stressed, and saying no feels natural now.
Staying in your lane.
Yep.
And trusting that it will be abundant.
Yeah, agree.
You're enough, and that's enough. So
that's my takeaway, is this craziness is not worth feeling crazy all the time.
Who else? Amy, come on. What's different? What did you get from this last year?
I knew you were going to call on me.
I know. Well, because nobody talked. So,
man, a lot of things. But one of the positives, I think, is, I've only been doing real estate 3 years, and this 3rd year has been this. And so it's been such an amazingly big learning year for me. And I think that I don't know if it's a change I've made or if it's just something I've leapt a little bit more into, is asking questions. Like Jay was saying earlier, is I'm really trying to and not just asking questions, but really trying to listen to see how can I best serve this particular person. And I think in all the hustle that was calmed down during especially the beginning of COVID, you were really getting a different connection with people. And I think it just has taken my relationships with my clients, their families, their friends in a much deeper place. And I think, so I want to know, I can best serve them and address their concerns if I really know what's kind of behind those. So I think I've always been a question asker, but this has really made me more curious about people. And I think that it has deepened my relationships with my clients. So I think that that's been lovely. And it just, you're going to always want to be in relationship with people that make you feel heard. And so it's been reciprocal too. I think if you ask them about their families, what's going on and stuff, people want to talk. And everybody's been so isolated that it really feels good to talk to someone and just have someone listen to you. So that's been, kind of a little bit of a slowdown in a way, but just a lot more depth in the business, I think.
And pulling on that skill and that gift that most of us have inside, which is the coach. Because a professional coach is a professional question asker.
Yeah.
And so that's the skill that I think many agents are lacking, or they haven't figured out that they need to pull that up in order to operate in this marketplace. So yeah, asking questions, and like Jay, to your point about, they'll tell you. You just have to ask. It's so not about the house.
Never is.
That is so obvious now. It's about the experience. It's about the comfort. It's about safety. Huge about safety. I don't think I've ever heard the word, we want to live in a safe place, more than I have this year, because people's safety has been at risk tremendously in all kinds of ways. So
yeah,
Kathy,
And I think,
go ahead.
oh,
Jay.
sorry, Kathy, go ahead. I just wanted to say one more thing is, I did not know this, but I need you to understand that I was addicted to the chaos. I need to know you. I need to all let you know this. I was very addicted to the stress and the chaos because of that adrenaline and because of the endorphins, that I needed that. And I didn't know I needed that. And as soon as I step back, I still hustle. I still work hard, right? But, I now want to build an infrastructure. And Emily, good for you, like saying, you know what, I'm not going to miss that money. But what it's doing for you is she's probably just disconnecting herself from money and saying it's about the process and her life.
And the money
that's
follows.
bringing more, and it brings more abundance. So Emily, thank you for saying that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Kathy, what do you got? What's changed for you? What's your big aha for the year?
I shouldn't have retreated like I did, which I'm sure you know. I just kind of retreated thinking everything is going to be put on hold for this year. And so I just sat back and let it be on hold. So I have a lot of catching up to do.
But you're back.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Now you're here. Yeah.
Yeah.
April, you got something? I know you're burning over there with some lessons from the year.
No, just kind of sitting back and listening. I've got to say, Jay, listening to you speak, you have such a calming presence about you. And, it really does make me, who's very clippy and very fast with my people and very like, let's go, go, go. It does make me take a step back and go, you have to remember to be more like Jay. Like, you've got to remember to have that calming edge to your voice and that slow steadiness to you. So I really commend you for that. That's not easy to do in the middle of a really heated market. So that's all I have to add. I'm just listening. You guys are also inspiring.
Just
Thank you,
breathing.
April. That's a big
breathing.
compliment coming from you. Thank you.
One other thing that I wanted to say to add to your preparing your buyers from the beginning is a paradigm shift that I learned. And I've said this, a few people have probably already heard it, but I can't say it enough because it really makes a difference to tee up the ball at the very beginning with buyers, is to say, one thing I want to let you know is we are in a different kind of market in that this is more like eBay. It's more like an auction, so when you see a price on a house, it's not the price for the house. It's the reserve. It's the minimum amount that a seller will take on this house. I just want you to think in that direction. Everything over there is your creative auction mind. And everything over there is what else can you bring to the table that is going to ease this transition and mitigate the most risk for that person in this transaction. So if you get people that they shift their mind, like you can see it on their face, like, oh, wow, that makes a big difference. So it's not necessarily that, why do I have to pay $250,000 for this house? It's only worth $230,000. No, that's the reserve. That's where we're going to start. Everything else from there is the other elements. The lender. No, the lender's a big, huge thing. I go there right away. If the seller's agent is not familiar with the lender or the type of loan, we're out of the game. And so anyway, that shift, that paradigm shift of thinking really helps. So anything else anybody wants to add? Any of the people that are invisible here? Have anything else? Any questions of Jay? Jay, great content. Thank you so much. This was super. Thank you for everybody that contributed. And congratulations on really learning something in this last year. So it wasn't a total waste.
Thank you, everybody. Thank
Yeah.
you. And if anybody wants to reach out, please reach out. I'm an open book, and I need your support too. So thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Jay. This was
That list of
awesome.
tips from Ben and Aubrey. Jay, if you send that over to me, we'll get it uploaded into documents. So, hi, Audra. Okay, take care, you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.